In this lesson, you will learn how to find the mean, median, mode, and range of a data set. Let's start with the mean. The mean, also known as the average, is the sum of all the numbers in a data set, divided by the number of numbers. So, to find the mean, first add up all the numbers in the data set, and then divide the sum by how many numbers there are. Let's see this in action with some examples. First, add all the numbers together. Then, divide by the number of numbers. Here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So we divide by 5. The sum of these numbers is 45. Feel free to use a calculator if needed. 45 divided by 5 is 9. Therefore, the mean of this data set is 9. Now pause the video and try finding the mean for the second example. First, add up all the numbers. Then, divide by how many numbers there are. This time you have 8 numbers, so divide by 8. The sum is 370. Dividing this gives 46.25. That's the mean for this data set. Now, let's move on to the median. The median is the middle number in a data set when the numbers are arranged in order from smallest to largest. So, to find the median, the first step is to arrange the numbers in order. For the first example, the smallest number is 1. Then, we have 3. Next, we have 9. Then we have 10, right? Then 12. Finally, we have 2 15s, right? Now find the middle number. The easiest way to do this is to cross out one number from each end until you reach the middle. First, cross out the first and the last numbers, then the second and the second to last. Finally, the third and the third to last. The remaining number in the middle is the median. Therefore, the median of this data set is 10. This means half of the data are below 10 and half of the data are above 10. A median divides the data into 2 equal halves. Note that in this example there are 7 numbers in the data set, which means we have an odd number of numbers. That's why there's one number sitting in the middle. But what if the data set has an even number of numbers? In this case, there will be 2 middle numbers. So, how do we find the median in this situation? Let's find out with the next example, which contains 8 numbers. Start by arranging the numbers from smallest to largest. Then, cross out one number from each end. Notice that we're now left with 2 numbers in the middle. In this case, to find the median, take the average of the 2 numbers. That means add them up and divide by 2. 35 plus 40 is 75. 75 divided by 2 equals 37.5. That's the median of this data set. So remember, if the data set has an odd number of numbers, the median is the single middle number. If the data set has an even number of numbers, the median is the average of the 2 middle numbers. Now, let's move on to the mode. The mode is the number that appears most often in a data set. To find the mode, first arrange the numbers from smallest to largest. This makes it easier to spot the number that appears most frequently. For the first example, the smallest number is 1. Then, we have 3. Next, we have 3 5s, right? Then, we have 7. And finally, we have 2 9s. Then count how many times each number appears. 5 appears 3 times. 9 appears twice. The other numbers appear only once, right? So the number that appears most often is 5. Therefore, the mode of this data set is 5. What if more than one number appears most often? Let's find out with the next example. Start by arranging the numbers from smallest to largest. Then, count how many times each number appears. 11 appears twice. 23 also appears twice. The other numbers appear only once, right? So the numbers that appear most often are 11 and 23. Therefore, this data set has 2 modes, 11 and 23. Now, what if all the numbers in the data set appear the same number of times? Let's find out with the next example. First, arrange the numbers from smallest to largest. As you can see, each number appears twice. So there is no number that appears more often than the others. In this case, there is no mode. Similarly, in example D, each number appears only once. Again, since no number appears more often than the others, there is no mode. So, remember, If only one number appears the most, that's the mode. If multiple numbers appear the most, the data set has more than one mode. If all numbers appear equally often, there is no mode. Additionally, if the data set has only one mode, it's called unimodal. If it has two modes, it's called bimodal. If there are three modes, it's called trimodal. In general, if there are more than one mode, it's called multimodal. Now let's move on to the range. The range is the difference between the largest and the smallest numbers in a data set. So, to find the range, just subtract the smallest number from the largest number. For the first example, the largest number is 17. The smallest number is 0. So the range is 17 minus 0, which equals 17. This means the numbers in the data set are spread out over 17 units. The range tells us how spread out the data is. For the second example, the largest number is 99, and the smallest number is 16, right? So the range is 99 minus 16, which equals 83. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and try to find the mean, median, mode, and range of this data set. To find the mean, first, add up all the numbers. Then divide by how many numbers there are. There are 11 numbers in this data set. So divide by 11. The sum of the numbers is 120. Dividing this gives 10.90 with 90 repeating. Rounding this to the nearest hundredth, you get 10.91. So that's the mean for this data set. Now what about the median? To find the median, first, arrange the numbers from smallest to largest. Then find the middle number. The remaining number in the middle is the median. So the median of this data set is 7. Next, to find the mode, look at the arranged data and identify the number that appears most often. 7 appears 3 times. 21 appears twice. The other numbers appear only once, right? So the number that appears most often is 7. Therefore, the mode of this data set is 7. Finally, to find the range, subtract the smallest number from the largest number. The largest number is 21, and the smallest number is 1. So the range is 21 minus 1, which equals 20. Now before we end the lesson, let's put your knowledge to the test with a practice question. So feel free to pause the video and try solving it on your own before checking the solution. It is given that there are 5 numbers, the mean is 8, median is 7, the mode is 7, the range is 11, and the smallest number is 3. You are asked to find the other 4 numbers. First, use the range. The range of a data set is the largest number minus the smallest number. So the largest number equals the range plus the smallest number, right? The range is 11, and the smallest number is 3. 11 plus 3 equals 14. So the largest number is 14. Now we have 2 numbers, 3 and 14. Next, use the median. The median is the middle number when the data is arranged in order. Since there are 5 numbers, the third number must be the median, which is 7. So the third number is 7. Now we have 3 numbers. Next, use the mode. The mode is the number that appears most often in the data set. Here, the mode is 7, which means there must be at least 2 7s. So add another 7 to the list and assume that is the second number. Now we have 4 numbers. Finally, use the mean. The mean of the 5 numbers is the sum of the 5 numbers divided by 5, right? From this, the sum of the 5 numbers must equal the mean multiplied by 5. The mean is 8, and 8 times 5 equals 40. So the sum of all 5 numbers is 40. Now this 40 represents the sum of the 4 known numbers plus the missing number. So, to find the missing number, subtract the sum of the 4 known numbers from 40. The sum of the 4 numbers is 3 plus 7 plus 7 plus 14, which equals 31. So, the missing number must be equal to 40 minus 31, which equals 9. Therefore, the 4 numbers you are asked to find are 7, 7, 9, and 14. To learn how to find the standard deviation and variance of a data set, check the link in the description. Give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing.